You're a rat. Okay? Let's go. You got punched in your face by Papoose. You did nothing. You were accused of a gang in 2010. You did 4 months for tax evasion. All your stories are fake that you talk. Beating up karate guys. Robbed everybody in school. Like this clown stuff. You're just a clown. You look like the bad guy from Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just a cornball.
I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it 10,000. Fat Joe finds himself in the middle of a mafia war, or should I say turncoats? Yeah, because those of you that don't know, these guys are called turncoats. The ones that snitched, the ones that turned informant, cooperated with the government. See, at the end of the day, Fat Joe has probably got himself in just a little bit of trouble here with some guys that used to put in work in these wicked streets. You heard? Because I brought y'all a story recently of a guy named Johnalite, okay? And he was from the Gambino crime family, and he served time after committing all these bodies. Yeah, I mean, he put people down for a living for the Gambino crime family. See, I got to take y'all back to what started all this, because Fat Joe sat on his show and he told the story that might have just got him in a world of trouble. Pay attention.
At a show, it was around this time, Hammerstein Borrello. I'm on my way to the stage. Somebody appears. So he says, yo, you know who I am? I said, nah. He said, yo, I'm such and such. When I looked at him, I said, holy shit. Now, this guy's beyond a killer. He was extorting every rapper on earth. He was doing whatever. He was a monster out here. So when the guy shakes my hand and I realize who he is, all I see is faces of all my friends that got 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. This pussy put everybody in jail. I couldn't wait to get off that stage. I said, now look at me, you rat motherfucking bastard, piece of shit. You ever in your fucking life. They will never believe this. That's why I can't say the name. He's looking down. I picked his chin up. Said, look me in the eye, nigga. Yeah. You know what this is. I'm not dumb. I knew it was going to happen. No disrespect. The game been using me. Every rapper get beef. I inherit their beef. I fucking knew it was going to be Fat Joe who was going to see this guy. This shit going viral without a name, bro. They know what I'm talking about. You're going to.
I gotta be real. Fat Joe didn't have to put a name to it because, man, he wasted no time speaking out on Fat Joe and putting out there how he felt. Pay attention.
You're a classless pig that wears 30 chains around his neck like a child, like you're 15 when you're near 60. And how dare you talk like you want to help kids? Help kids do what? You immature clown. You're nothing but a piece of that with hookers your whole life at strippers. Look at you. You look like a one-eyed turtle. Bald head, fat, sloppy body. Abused your wife your whole life. Disrespected her with hookers and girls. And every girl that you abuse, you shouldn't. And I don't know how that guy sat next to you, knowing that you were accused of all kinds of.
I got to keep it real. These guys are killers, okay? And let me throw this out there, because now John Alite is also a congressman in New Jersey. Yeah, he has a seat at the table. So Fat Joe might be just tangling with the wrong people here. I got to be real, but there's a friend of John Alite that came to light. I got to be real. Yeah, Borrello. Yeah, Borrello. And now he's calling out Fat Joe for, basically disrespecting John Alite. This guy, just in case you don't understand who Borrello is, he is a mob henchman, okay? He's from the Bonanno crime family. He served 13 years, okay? This man served 13 years for putting in work on the streets. You heard, for the Bonanno crime family. Now, keep in mind also, y'all, he also snitched. You heard? He also turned informant. I got to call it what it is. Borrello, a former Bonanno crime family henchman turned cooperator, who has served 13 years in prison. Okay, so this man has actually told and cooperated with the government. He has his own podcast. See, but I'm going to tell y'all this. These guys are still dangerous. You heard they was able to duck the arms of the law by, of course, turncoating, telling. You heard ratting out they partners, they peoples, integrity out the window. You heard, but he goes in on Fat Joe because he's not happy about him having somebody named Joseph Skinny Merlino on the show, right? I gotta be real. There is a big mob fest here. I don't know what Fat Joe done started here, but pay attention to what he says because he's calling out Fat Joe with the Papoose situation, getting punched in the eye, not doing nothing. These are wise guys that were actually putting in work, extorting people in the streets. So when they see Fat Joe talking about one of their own, they look at him as a moolie. Pay attention, y'all.
Bugs me out. Johnny Alite, who's, I'm very close with. I talk to him every day. Fat Joe, you go and say something about him. Like you're this big gangster, like you know everything about everybody. You talk about people because Joey Merlino's sitting on your show. Joey Merlino is a rat. You're a rat. Okay? Let's go. You got punched in your face by Papoose. You did nothing. You were accused of a gang rape in 2010. You did 4 months for tax evasion. All your stories are fake that you talk. Beating up karate guys. Robbed everybody in school. Like just clown stuff. You're just a clown. You look like the bad guy from Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just a cornball. Imagine that, Johnny Alite. You're making like you know what the situation is. Gotti, John Jr. the rat, told on John Alite. They all told on Johnny Alite. You don't bring up these guys. It's hysterical. I laugh about this. Fat Joe. Stick to being a rapper and a pretender guy. You rap about people that actually did gangster things. You never did nothing gangster in your life. Stop now. Joey Merlino is a rat. He's doing the same thing everyone else is doing, okay? Talk about his wife who abused him while he's in prison. The big gangster. The John Gotti of Philadelphia, as you say. Really? I'm real clear that wouldn't happen to John Gotti Sr. What happened to him? Okay? Let's stop now, right, guys? It's only going to get worse now. Fat Joe, I'm going to really torch you now. Bad. All right?
I ain't going to hold you. He goes completely ham on Fat Joe. But he also brings up a Philadelphia mobster, Joey Merlino. You heard? And see, I just can't stand for people to get dirt put on their names because we all know Joey Merlino. He's most loved on the East Coast as a mobster, as a cheesesteak. Yeah, Skinny Joey's cheesesteaks. He's killing it in Philadelphia right now. And he also was known as the John Gotti. I gotta be real, of Philadelphia, because he held down the young ones. You heard? Yeah, he had a young, aggressive gang that was trying to take over and move out the old mobsters. See, and he's not a rat. See, this is why we have to have our facts straight, bring everything to the forefront so we can really understand what's going on here. Joseph Skinny Joey Merlino is not a snitch. Throughout his entire criminal history, he has notoriously abided by the mafia's code of silence and served multiple long prison sentences without cooperating with the government. So, yeah, they tried to tarnish this man. Yeah, that's disgusting if you ask me. This is his history, y'all, because I got to tell y'all a little bit about him. In the 1990s, Merlino led a young, aggressive faction that fought an open street war against John Stanford for control of Philadelphia's underworld. In 2001 conviction, Merlino was sentenced to 14 years in prison after being found guilty of racketeering charges, including extortion, book making, and receiving stolen property, man. This dude was a criminal. You heard, American mobster who federal prosecutors believe rose to become the boss of Philadelphia crime family. Okay? He was not a worker. He was a boss. Okay, he started his own and wanted to take out all the older mobsters so they can take over. This is real shit that Fat Joe is finding himself in the middle of. I gotta be real, y'all. It's real. It's real in the field. Now, do we take, I gotta ask y'all this, right? Do we take dudes that actually turncoat serious? I mean, this man right here, johnalite, he has a chair in Congress in New Jersey. He's a congressman in New Jersey. How does that work? Yeah, ex-killer is a congressman and he's talking crazy to Fat Joe. So he's very unprofessional, but shout out to him. He made it out the trenches and able to get at Fat Joe now and talk the way he want to talk. He's a congressman. How does the power, I mean, look, once a killer, always a killer. And when it comes to Borrello, how are we looking at this, y'all? He's a rat also. Do we take the word of rats? I'm just saying, guys that, you know, that's obviously going to come at a stand-up guy like Joey Merlino. Look, man, I don't make the news. I just break the news down. Y'all let me know if Fat Joe found himself in the middle of a crazy situation here with these ex-henchmen, ex-mobsters that are actually hurt people. Yeah, these people have actually hurt people and don't mind taking somebody out. You got to be honest with that, y'all. Like, these dudes is enforcers. They were putting in work. They was out hurting people. I don't remember ever hearing about Fat Joe. You heard tying anybody up, putting any work in. See, podcasting sometimes can lead you to a lot of trouble. You're a lot of trouble. Y'all got to be real. Now, I'm not saying Fat Joe is not a real one, but these guys are beyond real. Yeah, I don't care if he told. I don't care if he snitched. These guys are here to take care of business, and they just slip the underarms of the law. You heard, by telling, by snitching, whatever they did to get out their situation to freedom. But hey, once you have that mentality of being a killer, I don't think nothing can take that away from you. But hey, who am I? Look, I don't make the news. I just break the news down. Make sure y'all get down in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel about this. Yo, it's your boy E or you, aka the Harlem Legend, man. Things is only going to get more spookier. You heard, more crazier. Because I'm sure Fat Joe has a lot more stories. Salute.
Bugs me out, you know, Johnny Alite, who's, you know, I'm very close with. I talk to him every day. Fat Joe. You go and say something about him like you're this big gangster, like you know everything about everybody. You talk about people because Joey Merlino's sitting on your show. Joey Merlino is a rat. You're a rat. Okay? Let's go. You got punched in your face by Papoose. You did nothing. You were accused of a gang rape in 2010. You did 4 months for tax evasion. All your stories are fake that you talk. Beating up karate guys. Robbed everybody in school, like just clown stuff. You're just a clown. You look like the bad guy from Sonic the Hedgehog. You're just a cornball. Imagine that, Johnny Alite. You're making like you know what the situation is. Gotti, John Jr. the rat told on John Alite. They all told on Johnny Alite. You don't bring up these guys. It's hysterical. I laugh about this. Fat Joe. Stick to being a rapper and a pretend guy. You know, you rap about people that actually did gangster things. You never did nothing gangster in your life. Stop now. Joey Merlino is a rat. He's doing the same thing everyone else is doing, okay? Talk about his wife who abused him while he's in prison. The big gangster. The John Gotti of Philadelphia, as you say. Really? I'm real clear that wouldn't happen to John Gotti Sr. What happened to him? Okay?